Hello, guys. This is Dilip Nigam here, CEO of SimpliExcel Training International and certified John Maxwell coach. And I'm extremely excited today because I have the honor and privilege of having with me Mr. Dinesh Verma, the founder and chairman of a company called V2U Healthcare PT Limited Singapore. Now, this company is extremely successful, extremely flourishing in the Singapore region. It's a regional company with operations in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. Now, Mr. Verma has been, it's such an accomplished company that it has won numerous awards in the past couple of years. Just to name a few, it has won Asia's 100 Leading Brand Award, Singapore Indian Business Leaders Award 2016, SME 500 DBS Award for winning, winners of upcoming entrepreneur category, and also the latest in the feather in the cap has been Singapore Prestige Brand Award 2018 for a second time, and this is the only company that has won those awards. So these are just a couple of awards, okay? So I really feel honored. This company, V2U Healthcare, is in the business of physiotherapy and rehabilitation products and clinical services. So without much further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Verma on the call, and it's my privilege and honor to have him. And I'm sure his success journey and story is going to influence and motivate many, many people for times to come. So thank you, Mr. Verma, for taking out time for me. I really appreciate and feel honored to have you on my call. So welcome.
Hello, Mr. Dilip Nigamji. Thank you very much for inviting me to your show here and giving me an opportunity to share my journey with you and your friends. It will indeed my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So to start with, Mr. Verma, I would like to talk about, the childhood, early childhood, especially the teenage years of the people have a huge impact on people's success journey subsequently. So I understand that at the age of 17, you even started a drama company, but you never pursued that, right? So would you like to share a little bit with the audience about your early phase of the teenage phase of your career life?
Well, I think everybody has a natural instinct, and I think my natural passion was very much into arts, theater, dramatics, and events. Yeah. So I used to regularly participate with school activities, dramas, and all. And very young age, high school level, I started a music group company, literally doing commercial level of event management, or what you call, if you have a birthday party or engagement or even wedding parties, to be able to provide full scope orchestra and entertainment. And I used to do program hosting that and compiling the whole band together, music players, singers and entertainers and so on. When I reflect back today, I think I can't believe myself I did that at age of 17 when I'm doing high school.
Yep.
And we did very professional level. So that was my rooted interest. But those days, typically, it was very hard to get the family support. A typical career path for a child in a family has to be medicine or engineering and so on, and stage and drama and media was not that established in India. We only had one national channel and very few opportunities. And I don't think I really got much encouragement to pursue my career in that. And slowly I had to stream off from there for long-term prospects.
I can understand. Yeah, but you did have a lot of entrepreneurial skills and thought process at that age also.
Absolutely, I would say. I mean, I always like to do things differently. That's been my life as about. When I was in high school, also during the summer vacation, I will take opportunity, do summer jobs, experience something, and doing this kind of entertainment thing was also sidelined while I'm studying. So that's always been in my blood.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you would agree that environment of the family, and that helps a lot, or rather has a huge impact on the upbringing of a child from teenage period to the adulthood. Now, in what way you felt your family environment and your family's background helped you accomplish and move forward and influence today's success path?
Well, absolutely. I think any child is very much influenced by his family. And for me, I come from very, very humble background. My mother was a housekeeper and my father was a government employee. In those days was not too big salaries. So we really had to live with our limited means within the family. And so much to say that, we were allocated a monthly budget for the pocket to spend. And there was a very little budget that we really had to manage our resources within it. And if you run out of your budget in 20 days, you have to figure out how to survive next 10 days for your coffee and refreshments. So, I would usually run out of the money and I had to borrow money from my siblings.
Yeah.
But that was also learning that really makes you realize the value of resources and to manage yourself within your limits. I think these are the value I really strongly built in right from the childhood. And this is very much a strong influence of my parents who actually inculcated. They didn't shelter us, or they didn't even overfed us. They really wanted us to be independent, and that I think helped a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Those early value systems which we get from the parents, they help a lot. Even control on the money, that's a huge sense of that valuing money. The value you have to put hard work to earn money, and I totally agree with you. Now, I know you were doing a great job, and you're having a great job and career journey in India, Delhi. Then in early 1990s, you
Yeah.
decided to take a major decision of moving to Singapore, and you undertook MBA, and even in fact you had some challenges in that journey too, but you ended up receiving a gold medal. Why don't you talk a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my career in India was a brief. After graduating, I worked about a year or so, but I was always eager to venture into new waters and test out, and always loved traveling. So, opportunity came in Malaysia to be working with a multiply physically challenged children setup, and I took that opportunity to really explore something different, and that was nice. uh, Beginning of my career out of India, and but we had very limited resources, and we were full of energies and ideas to do a lot of things. And slowly, I found I am not able to meet my needs in that environment, and we got opportunity to come to Singapore. So I took that opportunity and moved into Singapore. So I worked in a area for about 8 years. Again, I worked with a physically challenged children for 2 years, and a leading private hospital in Singapore, uh, doing a lot of clinical physiotherapy work. But while I was going through it, I felt that there's a limitation of career growth that I am aspiring myself to do, and I need to do more than what I'm doing. And I think I need to have a different grounds to grow myself. And I started preparing for it because I wanted to see what else can be done. Uh, and I thought that something in business, although I had not formally ever studied business, I thought will be something interested to look into it. So before I venture into business, I thought I need to get some basic tools and techniques of business understanding. And I joined a program in Singapore. It's called Graduate Diploma in Business Administration. It's a one-year program that actually gives you a quite good overview what business is all about. So it's on a surface will tell you what is, marketing, sales, financial management, human resource, information system in a broad perspective. Doing that actually created my interest further to study more in depth. And I thought I found it interesting. I should pursue it. And I took a part-time MBA program with Henry Management College, UK, which was running it in conjunction with Singapore Institute of Management. And that was a part-time distance learning program. And I had to work from morning 8 to 5 p.m. And then we had to have classes from 7 to 10 p.m. in the night. And I was a father as well that time, so it was a bit challenging and stretching, but it was interesting. So I took the challenge, and it was 3 years of coursework and 6 months of dissertation work. So I spent 3.5 years studying this program, and finally acquiring the MBA degree. Yeah. So
And that
that's
too with a gold medal.
well, that was probably one of the very, very pleasant surprise, because I never expected to be getting gold award for the overall performance in the graduating batch, which was almost 60 people. And most of my colleagues were rooted into the businesses. They were managers and directors. This is a mature program. And I had no experience about business. I was, while studying MBA, I was actually doing clinical, which was totally unrelated. So my theoretical education was very different what I was practically doing every day. So
Right.
when I got that announcement that I'm the gold award winner for overall performance, that was probably the biggest surprise I ever received in my life.
Yep, absolutely. But I'm sure you paid the price for that. Nothing, success doesn't come cheap, and I'm sure we're going to discuss that in the success journey too. Now, moving from here, what prioritization and focus in the same context and self-discipline plays a huge role in somebody's success. And you would agree with that. So in what way self-discipline, prioritization, and focus really impacted your success journey so far?
I think, needless to say, there's no reason not to believe that you need extreme self-discipline if you want to accomplish, because you have to set your goals, you have to set your targets, you have to set your timeline. That's very important. And I think I have been fortunate to be able to do it quite successfully. uh, you know Yes, you're perfectly right. Priorities are very important. You have 10 tasks in front of you, but you need to really pick up what is the top priority you have to do. Filter that out and do it in right sequence. And that's very, very important. Multitasking is something that I have always indulged myself. And I will
Okay.
share with you that there's no reason anybody can be an entrepreneur if they are not indulging into multitasking. So I was fortunate to be able to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. Now, again, on the same premise, every single person who is successful is bestowed with a couple of strengths, but in certain areas of life, they have to grow and improve and upgrade themselves. So, what were the key strengths you had with you from the beginning? But what are the areas in your life you had to grow and improve and put work upon to be able to accomplish your goals?
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in SWOT. Absolutely. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a believer in SWOT. You got to do your own strength, weakness analysis. You got to look at your opportunities in environment and overcome the threats.
Right.
For my strength, I think, well, it's difficult to look at your own strength and your own weaknesses. So actually, before talking to you, I was asking my wife what is my strength and weakness, because she knows the best.
Yeah.
So she said, well, as far as my strength is her.
Okay. Cool. That's
And for
great.
my weaknesses, she said she can write a book.
And that is where she compliments you, right?
Yeah. So, but I think everybody has a lot of strengths and weaknesses. But I think as I already said, my biggest strength is my parallel processing.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to do several uh, tasks at same time. I have been, even today, actually, if you look, I'm doing clinicals, I'm doing teaching, I'm managing a business. You know, there's several aspects. Only in work front, I'm able to do them at same time, and doing it in not just one country. Now we are expanding into region.
Right.
So to manage different geographical territories, different cultures, different environment is a big
It's not easy.
aspect. Requires you a lot of multitasking to happen, to keep tab on all the aspects. So I think, I would say that's probably is my biggest strength so far. Um in terms of my weakness, I think impatience.
Okay.
Think I'm a little impatient, and I think it's getting better. It is definitely getting better now. As you age, when you're young, you're very, very impatient, and you want things. And when you're taking things in your control, you want things to happen in perfect manner, and you get agitated if they're not happening in the right frame. And but as you mature, you tend to take things more easily. You mature yourself, you give yourself time to absorb, and you give others also some time,
There you
because
go.
you really learn to understand everybody is different. Everybody is not you. Unfortunately, we always have tendency to think everybody is like us,
Yep.
but that is not the reality, and it takes a time to adjust and to get used to, yes, everybody is not you. Then they have their own strength and weakness. You look at their own strength and weakness, you try to adjust with that as well. So that has really come over a period of time, and I think I've developed tremendously great amount of patience, which my colleagues also comment, and that's been big change.
Okay, that's awesome. And connecting from here, as you would agree that you moved from Delhi to Singapore,
Yeah.
and then you established these company operations in 4 different countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. And I'm sure it required a lot of change by way of many ideas of work. For example, your behavioral change, as you said, patience, but there could be other changes. So what was the biggest change you had to implement apart from the patience to make things happen for you?
uh, I mean, change is something. I am a firm believer on change. Change, I always say that only thing constant is change.
Yes, you're right.
I really strongly believe in that. So whether it is your business direction, whether it is your strategy, whether it is your personal behavior, whether it's an interrelationship, all these are dynamics which are constantly changing around you. And we have been doing that. We have been working on, for example, one product portfolio, and suddenly you see the shift in demand that is happening. So you have to move your portfolio to meet the demand.
Right.
So these strategic changes are always happening. Environmental changes which are happening in environment, in business running operation environment, business requirement also requires you to change constantly. So I mean, we can talk a lot about it, but to summarize, I would say, yeah, absolutely, I firmly believe and always advocate to my team that yes, be open to change. This is something that you're not going to avoid.
Absolutely. Now, I know you have a wonderful, successful journey, which can be motivated to many people. But you know what? In this journey, the life is always has ups and downs, right? So, in this success journey, which is absolutely incredible, how about some of the toughest moments you faced, and how did you overcome them, and what were the lessons learned from you from there?
Yeah, every journey has ups and downs. We have gone through several ups and downs, success and failures as well. Important is to really learn the lessons from your failures and modify yourself. uh, Biggest challenge I faced was about 4 years ago, when there was some major changes happened in the business, and the principal agencies that we represented, with almost 70% of business, was snapped away from my feet within a month.
Wow.
Some obvious some reasons, but that was the toughest time of my life to really ensure that how do we still sustain,
Yep.
still maintain, and go on. And for me, I wanted to ensure that none of my team members feel insecure, and
Yep.
we have enough for them. And I'm so pleased that we didn't have the opportunity to lay off even a single staff of our team. We
Wow.
all worked hard, we survived. We built the entire portfolio again of products and offering into the market. And I think what is most important is your reputation in the industry. That's
Mm-hmm.
carry you through. Change, as I happen, it does happen. Companies, they get bought over by big players. The big players have different demands, expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, those changes want to show their own changes, and they get you changed.
Yep.
It's
Sure.
so, but now you have to manage this change. And what I'm saying is, it's your reputation in the industry that really helps you to ride through these tough times. And I was really fortunate because all these years I had built up a significant respect in the industry as somebody who has proven, who has known, who has been rooted in, who knows this region, who knows this product very well. And it didn't took very long to receive this full support from the industry for us to reoffer the full portfolio back into the market.
Wow. Wow.
And I think I'm happy to say we seem to be coming even stronger than before. So something that happens in your life, you may think it is coming for worst, but you never know what good is it coming in for you.
Yes, you know what John Maxwell in his book 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth says, failing forward. The failure is a part of success journey. You fail, get up, learn from your scenarios, past scenarios, and move on to succeed with resilience and of course adaptability and a decision to move on. So that's what your story talks about. But that's incredible, and that's a great lesson for even younger generation that what, be willing to fail and learn and move on. Yeah. Now, if you were to recap the most memorable day of your success journey, I know there were many memorable milestones in this wonderful success journey, but if you have to name the most memorable day of your success journey, what would that be?
Well, I think the most memorable day, if you look at my professional career, apart from what I really shared was during my academic journey, was to really receive the gold award during my MBA. That's one of the most satisfying and rewarding moment of my life.
Right.
But in my professional journey, in 2014, I was nominated as Upcoming Entrepreneur Award as one of the finalists in the category. So, and this is granted by Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce. And we were screened through the pool of applicants, and I was actually a winner as the 4 upcoming entrepreneur in the segment. But among those 4, one had to be the category winner. And this was the first time when the Prime Minister of Singapore, Mr. Lee, was coming to make the presentation of award. So I was really putting my fingers crossed that, it's a golden opportunity for me to receive something at this level. And my prayers were answered. And I was absolutely delighted when they announced the winner name as Dinesh Verma.
Wow. I'm sure that was a thrilling moment of life,
That's absolutely.
Very good. Now, if you had to summarize 3 success mantras, I know there are many traits of a successful person, but if you had to summarize 3 success mantras of your success journey, what would they be?
I think, as I already shared with you, that one of the strongest success mantra for me is only thing constant is change. So always be ready for change and be adaptive to change. So the second thing that I have strongly believed is that winners need not to do different things. They have to do things differently.
Yep.
It's a very common saying. It's not my word, but I strongly believe into this. And I do apply into this in my business processes, in my business approach. The way we do things, we tend to do differently than others would do. And that's something I think young generation has to keep in mind. You can't be a success if you want to follow trails. If you think I can also do this, someone is doing this way, I can also do this. That doesn't lead too far.
No.
So very important is really to do things differently.
Differently.
Yeah. And in terms of business, I think what my philosophy has been is to create a win-win strategy. The people I work around, the people I associate, the people I cooperate, I think I create a proposition whereby we see both parties are winning. Now, it's very difficult in an equation to really say, who is winning more, who is winning less.
Fair enough.
But ignore that part. But as long as both are winners, I think that's the success.
You're talking about adding value to people, keeping the value proposition first before what you want to make out of it.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
honestly, this has been strategy for me right from the beginning. And I've literally taken up these challenges and propositions in this way. I give you a win-win equation. Win-win means I won't let you lose,
Sure.
but I make sure that you win and I win.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And that was a very good summarization of your, success mantras. Now, coming to mentorship. Now, a lot of those successful people, I may say a lot of them have a success coach or a mentor. Now, did you have a success coach or a mentor? And if yes, who's that and what was the value add he offered to you?
Well, I wish I had a success mentor.
Okay.
Uh, my journey, if I look back, it has been very much independently driven. Right
Okay.
from beginning, right from my first job I took, I used to manage a department all by myself. My second job was managing department by myself. When I moved into hospital, we had a bigger team, but I was assigned a business unit or a responsibility which I actually literally managed by myself. When I joined the commercial aspect, I joined the company in Singapore, Quintex Scientific, and I was given the division to build by myself. And I had very little help from somebody who will say, okay, you do this way or that way. In terms of processes, yes, a little bit, but not really who
Okay.
could really be my mentor in that sense. So I don't know. My destiny, my fate has been very, very much working by myself, finding my own way, finding my own path. But nevertheless, one thing I would want to say, yes, I think whenever I felt tough, I mean, I always took Singapore itself as a great example.
There you go.
It absolutely inspired me. It may
Yes.
not be a person. I tell you, as a country where I have spent all my career here, what an amazing
Country.
inspiration this place is.
Absolutely.
So when I feel let down, I said, when a small country can make such a great impact on the world geography, yes, I am small, but I also can make the impact.
Wow. Can I summarize your thoughts that self-belief, focus, and determination towards success? That's what brought you here today.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, another key virtue of a successful person is gratitude.
Yeah.
You know what? We always say that we should think in a day, who should we be thankful to for a day, for a blessed day today? And we should be building, always busy collecting blessings, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you have to
Absolutely.
thank three people, if you have to thank three people who impacted your life and career, who would they be?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure everybody is blessed with some people who they would want to thank in their life. But interestingly, I have three women I have to thank in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Needless to say, first is my mother.
Okay.
From the childhood to really build these values, which I really carry today in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the childhood, when your personality is being shaped, I think your mother plays very, very, very strong role in that.
Sure.
And she's the one who really influenced me. But when I moved into the business field in the career, my first break was given by Dr. Lau Pek Ting. She was the managing director of Quintex Scientific.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me opportunity to join her company, build up a business in there, and giving me an opportunity to spin off as a separate business with her as a partner into the business.
Wow.
And I think I'm thankful for her to giving me opportunity and having believe in me to be
Right.
able to do. And we had a really tough time. We had very challenging time because it was not easy to build something from scratch, a new portfolio, new segment into that company. And she always believed in me. She never questioned my thought processes, my strategies, and my approaches. She always
Mm-hmm.
believed. So that I would say thanks to her. The third person, of course, is my strong strength, is my wife, Monica Verma. And she has always, right from day one, stood by and beside me. Whether I was doing my MBA, studying, while she was holding the family front, where I'm traveling, almost half of my time I'm traveling, managing the back front, which I don't have to worry about. Even being a partner in my business, and she totally and independently manages the clinical business, which is Physio Asia Therapy Center, where I'm more looking at strategic growth and direction, but she's the one who's operationally fully independently managing this business as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So needless to say, these three are most important people in my life. I would say,
Wow.
thanks to them.
Awesome. That's nice. That's nice. Now, moving towards almost the close. Now, if you had to share one lesson with a fresh grad who is coming out of the college and is going to step into the industry, what would that one lesson be, one message be?
Yeah, I think I'm not going to say theoretical messages here.
Sure.
Very practical experience from my own life is, uh, the person have to become, if you really want to come out and be yourself, okay, uh, you have to stay with positivity. It's very important.
Mhm.
You need to associate with positive mind, positive thoughts. And whenever you come across an environment that is creating negativities, negative thoughts into you, try to dissociate from it, because negative atmosphere around you will create negative thoughts in your mind, and
Yep.
that's will be detrimental to your progress. If you look at, few tips, yes, in marketing we have famous 4 P's concept, you know so for me, the 4 P for entrepreneur is, firstly, you have to be passionate, believe in yourself, you have to be passionate. Secondly, you have to be, you know you really have to be a parallel processor. That means you should be able to do things simultaneously, because as entrepreneur you will be lacking of resources. You're not blessed with companies and departments and in charge and had to take care of. You have to do a lot of things yourself. So you have to be a parallel processor. Planning is absolutely, you have to put your plan, a realistic plan that you actually build with your smart goals, put them down and follow them. And perseverance, everybody can dream, but to be pursuing your dream until you're given timelines. I mean, don't follow your dream until you die, but you have to give yourself timelines, give yourself objective and pursue according to your plan. That's very important.
Right. Very well said. I like it. And then now, the two questions which I always ask all my success icons. What's your dream? So dream is a very dynamic word. It evolves, you would agree. Now, if you have to think of today, you have already accomplished a lot. Going forward, what's your dream? What do you feel, drives you every single day?
uh, Yes, you're perfectly right. I mean, dreams are always changing as we grow. When you're a child, you're dreaming about toys and things. You grow up, then you're dreaming about a vehicle of yourself, and then a car, and a even higher brand car, and so on. The dreams are constantly changing. Absolutely, we are coming into a different stage of life now. We are more, maturing, and I think aging is something that we really look at this stage of our life, you and me and my colleagues all. So I often talk to my colleagues, my friends, yeah, one of the dream I want to have is to create a rehab resort,
Wow.
a resort living where people like us who mature, get over our lives responsibilities, can live together, not being burdened on our children's, and also to be able to provide a good quality rehabilitation, because for sure we are going to have need for rehabilitation. We'll have pains, aches, arthritis, conditions, and so on. And that's something I really wish to create something of that nature that
Awesome.
can social need as well.
Very good. That's a good one. Now, as a closing, how do you define success? Because this is another very dynamic word. Everybody has his own perception of success. How do you define success?
Okay. Yes. Success, again, as I said, like your dreams, will change from time to time. What you see and think is the success, right? Now I am looking at what I define myself is a journey of aspiring to inspiring.
Wow. Beautiful. Very beautiful.
So, when as a young person, I was full of aspirations. And so when you are full of aspiration, you want to acquire these aspirations. As you keep acquiring, you start getting sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Now, one can go on, keep growing their aspiration and keep acquiring it. But at one point of time, you have to put break to this and say, yes, I'm happy, I'm contented, and I have to look at next phase. And that is to really lead the younger generation for them to gear up, to take the world and responsibility and look at the way how you can inspire them. And that's what I'm now looking toward. And that's what I call success, a journey that is successful. I mean, it's like, in our Indian philosophy, you have different stages of life. You have brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, vanprasth, sannyas ashram, and so on. Likewise, I think in a business world, I call it you aspire, you acquire, and then
Inspire.
inspire.
Beautiful. Lovely message. I like it, and I totally am a firm believer of that too. So wonderful talking to you, Mr. Dinesh. Really appreciate your time. I know you have a very, very busy schedule, but you took our time, and I'm sure your interview is going to inspire many, many people and many future generations to come. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time again, and definitely we stay in touch with you.
Thank you, Mr. Dilip Nigam, for your great effort as well. It's highly commendable. A great effort that is geared toward inspiring the younger generation. We'll
Thank
catch.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.